Put down that turkey leg. It's time for the Pool Nation podcast, where it's all pool talk. And we ain't talking about netting and jetting or splashing and dashing. We're talking about becoming a nation of pool pros. We talk about the latest products, trends, and training in the pool industry. Now let's welcome your host, with over a decade of industry insider experience and still the reigning champion of Marco Polo, Edgar De Jesus, and his co-hosts, JJ Flawless and Zach the Pool Boy Nicholas.
Welcome, everyone, to the Pool Nation Live podcast. I am your host, Edgar De Jesus, and yes, I am the reigning champion of Marco Polo, along with John JJ Flawless, the fastest netter in the West, and the famous Zach, the Pool Boy Nicholas. Today is Thanksgiving week. We're going to take a couple questions here, chat a little bit about the awards, and talk to John. We missed John last week, so I want to welcome everyone to our live podcast, the podcast where it's all pool talk. And we ain't talking about netting and jetting or splashing and dashing. We're talking about becoming a nation of pool pros. And yes, we will talk about the latest products, trends, and training in the pool industry. But before we get started today, I want to thank our sponsors for this podcast, the Ultimate Pool Tools, the SPPA, Blueray XL, Aqua Pool Products, Natural Chemistry, Raypak, and Heritage Pool Supply. We want to thank them for their continued support. Mr. JJ, good evening. How you doing?
I'm doing well, and I'm a little thrown off. I'm used to saying Zacharias, good morning or good evening, but Zach's not here with us, and he's enjoying time over in Universal Studios with the family. So well-deserved time out there, so that's pretty cool. He sent over some pictures of him on the ride.
That was hilarious.
That was hilarious.
Did you see the kids? The kids were like,
that was so awesome. And I got to tell Zach, I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, oh man, we got to do something with the kids, because the kids are growing. And the older they get, the cooler they get, and they don't want to, I guess some of them would want to do stuff like that, but not really. I don't know, but I just want
not stuff like that.
But to me, it's shit. When they were younger like that is when Janie and I were, well, we still are to this day, but fortunately we're in a position where if we really want to take some time off, we can, but it was just a hustle. Every day was just working, trying to build our career and build our business and provide for our family. And we missed out on some of those things. But when I saw that picture, it put a smile to my face. And I was like, that's really cool. I think I'm going to thank Zach, Leslie. I think you guys motivated us to do something like that for the family. I wish you guys are having a very good time out there. But as far as me tonight, again, I'm being influenced by my good friends. You as well, Edgar. You've had an impact on my life, a dramatic one. Actually,
is it a good thing or a bad thing?
I don't know yet, but I'm going to break it down really quick for everybody, because I'm sure everybody's wondering where I'm going with this. Those of you that don't know Edgar very well, okay, if you spent at least an hour with Edgar, then you would know this. He is a cappuccino fiend, right? He is a coffee monster. Like I said, if you spent about an hour with him, sometime within that hour, he's going to be like, I need a cappuccino. I need a cappuccino. And I've always been a coffee drinker, but just a coffee drinker. I would drink my coffee black with cream, with sugar, whatever it may be, but I drink coffee and I enjoy coffee. But Edgar is very foo, right? You don't want to mess up his coffee. And I'm starting to get an understanding. I'll get to that later, but his cappuccinos, he's very specific on how he likes his cappuccinos and his drinks. And he will decide whether or not you are his friend on how well you deliver, that barista delivers the coffee. But every time we go to a function, every time I go over to Texas or to Prosper, we go over to the house, first thing is, hey, we've become accustomed to it. And we're like, hey, Edgar, you want a cappuccino? Yeah, I'll have a cappuccino. And I would drink it and it tasted really good, but I really didn't get to appreciate it much until I think when in Vegas was when we hit it. And every time we go somewhere out of town and we fly somewhere and we're not in Texas, Edgar has to buy an espresso machine, right? Not a coffee maker, but a friggin' espresso machine this guy has to go buy. Again, I think this is like the fourth or fifth espresso machine he's purchased. But when we were in Vegas, he goes and buys, first thing on his mind, oh my God, I got to get an espresso machine. So he goes and buys an espresso machine and he puts it on the counter. And for the week that we were in Vegas, we had nothing but espressos. But we got to experience the pain of creating an espresso sometimes when you're using the manual one with the puck and tap it and put it in and the mess it makes and all that good stuff. And we were spoiled simply because we didn't know, because, of course, Edgar has like a $15,000 cappuccino machine.
Oh, God.
Right. And this thing literally does everything for you. So you just go there and boop, press a button, everything's done. Foam, triple latte, soy milk, whatever, however it may be. It's delivered at exactly 192 degrees with micro bubble froth and upside down, however it is, but extremely convenient. It comes with a nice little price tag. So we brought home the espresso machine from Vegas because we drove there. And we're like, oh, we bought it. There it is, but it's the manual one. So we brought it home. And the minute we brought it home, Janie just fell in love with it. And not just Janie, but all the kids, my daughter, Bobby, everybody is like, in the morning, there's like a line in the kitchen waiting for cappuccinos. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? And I know this is a pool podcast, but
people are like, what the hell?
Wondering. With me, you never know. We talk bacon sometimes, we talk food a lot, and now we're talking coffee and cappuccinos.
We'll talk about the water chemistry of the water that it needs to be in a minute.
Well, that's very important. And I'll tell you about this new machine because it was funny that water chemistry came into play with it, and I'll explain it to you. But we were using this coffee maker, or this one that Edgar bought, which is a piece of crap, but it did the job. But it was a painful,
disposable.
Yeah, for real. And it's a throwaway for sure. The Pentair Little Rebels that when we buy, when they go bad, we just throw them away because they break all the time and they're not worth fixing and they're cheap. Did I say that out loud?
You did.
I did say that out loud. Anyways, with that, it's a process and it takes about 5 minutes to make a cup of coffee, right? Which is a pain in the butt. And it makes a huge mess. I started looking and I'm like, God, and Janie's just literally like watching YouTube videos and reading.
Like she normally does.
Yeah, she is.
She really geeks out into that stuff. And then this is what we need.
She is like, I'm going to figure this out. So she's doing that and all that. And I'm going, okay. And I'm talking to Edgar. We're looking at a different machine. And I'm thinking, well, shit, time is money for me and I want convenience. So I'm going to figure something out. And I started looking at machines and oh my God, there's so much to look at and so much to do.
There's so many,
Yeah, and I sent a couple to Edgar. He was like, no, you don't want that one. You need one of this with a hyperfinator valve. And this one has to have a thermocoupler kick plate juicy fruit built into it.
The milk fridge. You need the milk fridge on the side of it.
Yeah, all this. So I'm like, okay. So anyways, I did my research. Long story short, I bought a coffee machine or espresso machine, and it got delivered today. And Mama was like a kid on Christmas. And I told her, like we always do, I go, look, I bought your Christmas gift, but I bought it early. I'm not going to have it sit in the closet for a month. Might as well use it now. So as you get older, that's what you do. So we bought it, we hooked it up, and of course we're testing everything and we're going through it. And I've had 8 shots of espresso right now. And that's why I'm talking so much and I'm like zooming. And so I can't stop talking, but this thing is pretty badass and I love it. It's pretty amazing. The micro bubbles from the froth are just to die for.
Are just perfect, right?
They're just perfect, man. You put whole milk, and when you drink it, it tastes like cream. It tastes like heavy cream, like half and half. It's so good. It doesn't even taste like coffee. It's so smooth. And it's just amazing how well it makes this cup of coffee. And it was a Black Friday deal. I took advantage of it. I'm a sucker for deals. I didn't spend $15,000 like Edgar did, but I definitely spent a lot of money on this machine.
People are going to think that I'm nuts that I do have. Look at that. Everybody. Right so we're offline today, but obviously there's Janie. How are you? Look at that with that cup of coffee. I like those cups too, by the way.
But about chemistry, before I forget, this thing had me take a hardness strip thing, and I had to dip in there to tell it exactly where the calcium hardness or the total hardness was of the water. So it had a setting and it did what I was like, dude, this is pretty crazy.
It calibrates. And then the other thing that it does is, like with anything, you get the calcium hardness and it starts to clog up all the lines. But these machines nowadays are so fancy that they calibrate themselves and you don't need to do any of that. It literally
does everything for you.
Literally cleans itself, does everything so that you don't have to be putting vinegar through it or doing any of that kind of stuff to clean the machines. It's just
this one has a little cartridge on there that says you go through 5,000 cups of coffee before you have to descale it.
Yep.
So there's like a special little cartridge that's in there that filters and removes all the calcium out of the water, turns it into soft water.
Yeah, they're absolutely amazing. So for everybody listening, I am a coffee geek. So I don't like to spend money on a lot of stuff. My coffee machine, my family bought it for me and they push and they didn't give me an option. But now that I have it, I love every minute of it and I geek out on it because I could do anything, right, with the push of a button. And if you know my house, like people have like bars to drink alcohol. I have a full blown coffee bar like set up in my house.
I like how you minimize it. Literally, this thing is like a shrine for coffee. He imported wood from Italy and then had a master espresso maker. So he flew him in to show him how to do it, to make sure that the light from the sun and the UV rays how it affects the coffee beans that are in the hopper. And he really gets deep into it.
Well, we'll have to
minimize it. I'm going to take a picture next time I'm
Yeah.
there, post it on Instagram so people can see it. Yeah, this is no joke.
We could put some up on Instagram, but you probably spent a pretty penny. So I apologize for that because, once you start geeking out. So here's the thing. For coffee, for me, when coffee is good, I like my coffee at a certain taste, at a certain strength. And with these machines, you can calibrate your cup of coffee so that every single time your cup of coffee tastes the same, right? And that's what people like about coffee is they go, whether it's Starbucks or whatever, you always go and you know that you're going to get that same taste over. And the beauty of it, and I saw the pictures that you sent, and I was geeking out right away going, oh, right there, I can adjust the strength and how many seconds of milk I can get into my cup of coffee. I was geeking out watching all your screens, and you can program them so it saves it, and you just press the button and boom, every time.
Yeah, you go down to a millimeter of how much milk you want in there, how much froth you want in there, how much coffee you want in there, how bold it is, what type of coffee, where it's from, what type of roast it is. It takes all that into consideration when it's brewing a cup of coffee for you or some espresso. It's weird, but
I apologize for being a bad influence and making you spend all that money because
no, I'm like you. If it's something worth it, then I don't mind spending the money on it. I hate wasting money myself, but when it's something like that and we enjoy it, and to see Mama act like 19-year-olds all giddy for a cup of coffee, I'm like, dude, I'm looking at her. I'm like, one, she's so beautiful. And two, damn, we're getting old. Because the things that excite us now from before, it was like a bittersweet moment for me because it was like cold reality of how old I'm getting because damn, we're getting excited about a coffee maker. That's crazy.
Let me call Edgar and talk to him for 45 minutes about my coffee machine.
Or, hey, we run a pool podcast and let's hijack the podcast, right? I haven't been on in 2 weeks because I wasn't able to make last week. And instead of pools, I'm going to sit and talk about a cappuccino maker for 30 minutes.
Anyways, I enjoy my coffee. When we were in Vegas, I did enjoy buying, and what I do is I go out and I buy a $50 espresso maker. But I enjoy making coffee, not just for me, but for everybody. That's my one thing. But anyways, look at that, John. We've been in 15 minutes talking about nothing but coffee, and we haven't even talked on the podcast yet. Let's do this because today we're going to do a short podcast. Today's Friday after Thanksgiving, and here we are sitting doing a podcast. So we're going to do a 30-minute podcast today. So let's do this, John. Before we jump in, let's take a word from our sponsors. When we come back, we will jump right back in.
The Hyper Pole from Ultimate Pool Tools is a pool care pole designed by pool professionals for pool professionals, featuring precision-crafted carbon fiber and stainless steel construction. Go to ultimatepooltools.com or Instagram at Ultimate Pool Tools. Pool pros have specific needs when it comes to general liability insurance. The SPPA program has you covered. With 3 tailored and customizable general liability options, SPPA makes it easy for pool pros to feel secure. Find out more and get covered at thesppa.com. Now available, Pool Invoice. Pool Invoice is a pool billing software created specifically for the pool service and repair industry. It's developed for our industry and only our industry. Pool Invoice is built with recurring billing in mind. You can print, email, text invoices, or even send via WhatsApp. You can add reoccurring or yearly charges, accept credits, and set up autopay. You can even see when customers have seen the invoice. It even has a customer portal where they can log in and see, print, and pay invoices. It has all your customers' information on one page, so you don't need to search through hundreds of invoices looking for the one you need. Just go to the customer profile and it's all at your fingertips. Created specifically for the pool industry, Pool Invoice. Now available at poolinvoice.com. Blueray XL is the power of minerals working for you. Reduce your overall chemical costs and labor up to 50% guaranteed. Whether you have 20 accounts or 20,000, Blueray XL's direct pricing and free shipping to the pool trade have you covered. Improving pool professionals' profit and work-life balance is what they do. Blueray XL, the real mineral purifier. Visit them at BlueRayXL.com.
Blueray all day. Aquastar's new pipeline cartridge filters, available in 2 sizes, deliver top-notch hydraulic efficiency along with best-in-class filtration performance, approaching that of DE filters. Uniquely designed, open pleat spacing means 100% of the media square footage is usable. And these claims are backed by NSF test results. Designed with the pro's time and comfort in mind, the patented double locking system improves safety and ease of access, making filter cleaners faster than ever before. Available now. Ask your supplier for pipeline filters today.
Natural Chemistry, a leader in specialty water care solutions for over 30 years, is proud to provide products that make pool service easier than ever before. Its unique enzyme formulations in Pro Series Pro Blend improve efficiency of your pool program while reducing frequency of filter cleaning and scum lines. Natural Chemistry is also well known for its wide variety of phosphate removal solutions that include a non-clouding formula in Phos-Free and extremely high-range removal with Pro Series Phos Remove or Phos-Free Max. Save time, save money, save work with Pro Series products. Stop sacrificing durability or efficiency with the help of Raypak's new Avia HD models that utilize NITEC, their exclusive industry-first technology. NITEC heat exchanger technology is Raypak's latest solution to superior strength and maximum efficiency when it comes to residential pool heating. With 900% more nickel compared to copper nickel in critical surfaces, NITEC creates an ideal surface to protect against scale formation and erosion without compromising on Avia's 84% thermal efficiency. Learn more at raypak.com/NITEC.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Pool Nation Live podcast. We continue our conversation with our friend JJ here, and we're going to move on from coffee makers because this is a Pool Nation podcast. So, John, we missed you last week on the podcast. You were having internet problems. The internet was down in your area, so we was kind of bummed about it. Before we jump in and I ask you a question or two, I wanted to get your thoughts really quick about the Pool Nation Awards. I think a lot of people are probably going to be like, oh my God, the Pool Nation Awards again, because we've been talking about it so much. But I wanted to get your thoughts because we hadn't been able to talk about it.
Correction here. We've been talking about it. I personally think that we didn't talk about it enough, us three. But the truth is, everybody's been talking about it. I've been floored by Instagram alone, as was like completely taken over for a week almost after the awards. And it brings nothing but a smile to my face. And I know you feel the same exact way. And so does Zach, as we talked about. It's like we sit back in awe looking at it saying, wow, it was just so wonderful to see that everybody had such a great time. But more importantly, that everyone, not just a clique or a group or a certain company or a certain friend circle, we're talking about the industry. Everybody was there and everyone was having a great time, at least from what we saw. And everybody was getting along, mingling, having fun, sharing war stories and best practices. And it wasn't a sales pitch. It wasn't, I'm better than you and you suck at this, or Team Pentair or Team Fluidge or Team Aquastar. Everybody had their own hype because they were excited to be there. But the camaraderie there was just amazing. And to see everybody, how well everybody cleaned up and enjoyed the time. And the dinner was actually good. I snuck in a couple tacos.
Did you really?
I did.
I didn't eat again.
I did. I was like, this time I'm going to do it. But I did it before while you were doing the name badges. And I was there to help. Oh, yeah. And I walk around and I'm like one of the first guys there with a plate. I'm like, give me a taco. I'm not going to go 3 years without tasting some of the food. And I only had the tacos. I had two of them and they were delicious. I had the chicken taco and the carne asada taco. And they were both very good. I could have eaten probably 30 more of them, but I didn't because one, I knew I'm like the messiest eater in the world. And I had my tux on with the white shirt, I would have destroyed it. And how embarrassing would that have been to be on stage with like salsa on my shirt? That would have been perfect.
That would have been awesome.
But I heard the food was really good. Everything was great. Like I said, that's what I really enjoyed, was just seeing everybody being there together, right? And not so much, like I said, everybody in their own little groups doing their thing, and people just had a great time. And that was the whole reason why we wanted to do it, was to bring everybody together and to celebrate our industry and the pool pros and to give voice to the little guys and girls out there busting their butts every single day, and having the manufacturers and there as guests watching the Pool Pro of the Year, and us choosing who when I say us, service professionals and the people in the industry choosing who they feel are the best in the business in certain categories. And I just thought it was really good. And talk about Zach, man, I'm pretty proud of him as well. Zach,
he killed it.
Zach Nell, he killed it, dude. He really did. It was just great, man. It was great.
Yeah, absolutely. When you guys hear me talk about it all the time, I get really excited and I talk about that magical moment and what it is. It's just this big, huge hangout. And it's really weird because we're meeting pool pros for the first time, right? There's a lot of pool pros that come every year, that are part of our family, but there's also a lot of new pool pros that come every year. John, it's this instant click. It's like if we've known each other for years and years, and it's nothing but this big, huge hangout and celebrating each other. And exactly like John is saying, there is no competition between anybody. It doesn't matter. Everybody's together. Everybody's celebrating everybody. Everybody's doing the recognition. If there's one event that you should go to, is that event. So you could see how everybody from all over the place. And this year we had people from the UK. We had people from, there was Omar Miguel from Puerto Rico that I reached out to. They do a podcast out there. And then I'm like, hey, guys, we're doing the awards if you're going to come. And 5 minutes later, they're sending me pictures of their plane tickets because they're coming out and they came out. And there's just this big, huge camaraderie that happens at that event that is, I tell you, you got to experience it. It's absolutely phenomenal.
Dude, it was crazy, man. And the turnout, right? And how many people we had, we could have booked double.
We ended up at about 320. At the pace that we went, we probably could have ended up with about another 100 people. We probably could have ended up with about 450 people. It was absolutely amazing.
It was. And the after party was something else. And the videos that you did showing us, giving us a teaser, we did the FaceTiming or whatever, the videos walking through the bar and kind of what it looked like and the atmosphere in there, did it zero justice to being there in person. It's hard to describe, right? You really felt like you were on top of the world up there. And who are we? This little old pool industry. And it's nice walking in this billions of dollar hotel and having a separate little elevator that was designated just for us, that had a big banner or poster up there saying Pool Nation Hassa After Party on the 66th floor. It was really cool. And it just felt like you were, felt like everybody that walked through that door felt special in a certain way. And I'm not exaggerating one bit. And I'm not much for social, that kind of stuff. But I had just had an amazing time. It was pretty great.
One of my favorite parts of the evening was all the girls got together and all the girls took a picture out in the patio that was leading to the outside. One of the things that I absolutely love about that is they all got together and they took a picture. And I went back, John, and I looked at year one. And I think year one, we maybe had 6-8 women. And then last year we had more. And then that picture, like there was just a whole bunch of women out in that balcony. And somebody made a comment about that. They made a comment about how the industry is growing and how many women are in the industry. I took a second and I looked at that picture. And that's one of the moments that I took a step back and I was able to enjoy it a little bit, right? That we've really grown the Pool Nation Award. It's not just for the male-dominated industry, but it's also the women of the industry and everybody in the industry. And that was one of my favorite moment, I think, of the after party, is just seeing that big, huge group of women just growing every year.
Yeah, that was great. And then let's not forget about the boot camp. That boot camp, I think it went really well. We had a great turnout, right? People were excited. People were there. We had people coming in, like crashing the boot camp, saying, hey, I know you guys were sold out, but I drove all the way down here and I just wanted to make sure that if there was a chance, if maybe I can get up there and we can go into the classes. And of course, we took them in. We did what we could to accommodate everybody that came. I got nothing but amazing feedback from the classes that everybody had. Raypak knocked it out the park. Hayward, Aqua Star, Natural Chemistry or Biolabs, right? They absolutely friggin' killed it. It was a long day, and we had this conversation. It was one of the first times we did a training like that we weren't really too heavily involved in it, where we're constantly doing something where we're not up there instructing or teaching as well. So it was long, those 2 days for us.
Oh, yeah.
Sitting there around like, dude, okay. And I'm listening to the classes. I had a great time. It was just really good. And when people, like when they walked out and they were like stoked and you knew they were happy and you knew that they enjoyed it, because it's one thing to talk about it, right? You know, if somebody comes out and goes, oh yeah, the class was great. Oh yeah, because they want to be kind or they don't want to insult or whatever it may be. But I go, dude, be brutally honest with me. We put this on free for everybody. We're doing all this work. We want to make sure it's what you want and what you enjoy. And if there's feedback, tell us, because we want it to be what you need and we're going to change it and do it that way. But everybody was just so positive about it. And we knew that they enjoyed it because they came back. It's not like they paid for it and they're like, oh, I'm already here, I'm going to get one. It was free for them. They came early in the morning after drinking or after partying in Vegas or doing whatever they're doing. They come both days, and they show up and they're there, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed as much as possible, and they go to the classes and they go from one class to the next class, to the next class, to the next class, because we had those 4 courses and we rotated each class, and they were there. And then it seemed like we kept getting extra people here, extra people there going. To me, that was amazing as well, because that's everything we're trying to do, right? We've been talking about this shit for how many years? And now it's actually coming to fruition, and it's actually happening. We had a huge success on our inaugural boot camp that we did over at the Pool Boys, which was amazing. And then this one here with the international show, I think was just great. It really was. And I was very honored to be a part of it and very humbled to play a small role in it, whatever it may be. But it was just really cool. And I'm looking forward to doing the other ones that we have in store. And I know we leaked it a little bit. We're not really going to talk about it, but we got...
Yeah, I will tell you this. So we talked about it a little bit at the awards, what we're going to do for next year. We have a series of them coming out. But for everybody that took the boot camps, even with what we did, our goal is not to just do them like that, but there's a couple of different things that we're going to do. They're going to be even more structured. And even as we get into some of the classroom style stuff, we're going to be changing that up, following a curriculum. And then there's going to be boot camps that are 101s, and there's going to be boot camps that are 201s. We've already started talking about what goes next after what we've done. And so we'll talk about that as we get into the new year and we start rolling those out. But the first one that we're going to do is on March 1st and 2nd out in Heritage Pool Supply out here in McKinney, Texas. They've been so gracious to allow us to use their space to do another boot camp, and we're definitely looking forward to that. We're going to be doing something out in Oxnard in May, and I already had an entire IPSA chapter, John, reach out that they wanted to attend that boot camp, and so that's obviously exciting. So I do want to take a minute and thank everybody that has supported us, all the pool pros that come out, that spend time with us, that come out and celebrate. Big, huge thanks to all of you guys, because if it wasn't for you guys, all this would be meaningless, John, right?
What are we doing it for? What's the point of it? Exactly.
But there's so many people that come to the boot camps and to the award, and they're full of energy, they're full of enthusiasm, and that's the stuff that's contagious, right? It's that fuel to the fire. And I'll give you a perfect example. I have Jay from California. And every time he comes to talk to me, he's like excited and he's hyper and he's got like all this positive energy. And I'm like, I tell him, I'm like, you're the guy that I need to talk to at every one of these events, because that's the gas to our fire, right? That's the energy. It's contagious. And that's what we want in the industry.
Oh, 100%. And I don't know how to put this, but the first time we did our events, being who we were and just our personalities, people might look at Edgar and go, oh, he's very outgoing and he talks and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But as individuals, we don't really like the spotlight, if that makes sense in a way. But we're able to step up to the plate when it's game time to do what we need to do, because we believe in this and it's important enough for us to do it, to overcome some of these feelings that we have on being a little bit uncomfortable. But over the years, as more and more people come by and just thank you and start talking to you, and you start developing these friendships with all these pool pros from across the country and across the world. I look forward to it, and I really do. Where before I did it, and to see these familiar faces and these friendly faces that we've maybe only seen on Instagram briefly on posts and stuff. But as you meet these people in real life and you get to know who they are as individuals and people and their struggles and their story, it inspires the hell out of me, man. And I enjoyed every moment of that, because I'm an introvert. We've talked about this before, where it's just fun as hell. And I had an amazing time. And I don't know if we talked about it last week, because I don't listen to our podcast. Oops. I'm just kidding. I do. No, I don't. Maybe. I'll let you decide. What do you think? What do you think?
It depends. Last week was a crazy week for you. I don't doubt that you didn't listen to it last week.
No, I didn't. No, I always listen to it. I always listen to our podcast. I'm just kidding. But last week I didn't, though. So that's why I'm saying this. One thing I was really excited to do was talk to people about and get people to download the app in our beta revision that we released at the show over there. And dude, I'm like pumped for this app.
Don't talk about it.
Okay.
Because we're going to do a separate podcast just on that. So the ones that were there were able to see it or part of some of the things that we've done. But we'll talk about it at a podcast coming up here soon and spill the tea there, John, because so far it's working out great. We'll bring everybody into the loop on that one. But if you're listening, you have to wait, right? There's a teaser, the cliffhanger.
All right. I guess a little teaser on that one then.
It'll make sense. Everything ties into everything that we're doing with regards to education and all that kind of stuff. John, believe it or not, we've been talking for 30 minutes. I do have a couple questions, but like you and I were talking about before the podcast, and here's some of the questions that people asked. And they were asking about career path. They were asking about seasonal considerations, some trainings and certifications. And they kind of wanted us to give a little bit of industry trends and stuff like that. But John, I don't think we should get into it because we won't have time to do an in-depth breakdown of those.
You're asking the wrong person the question if you want to keep this one short. I just went off on a coffee machine tangent for 30 minutes and I know nothing about coffee. Minutes. Just what I just learned in like the last 3 days that I've studied and I've done and researched. I was looking at some of these questions. Yeah.
Let me ask you this. So forget about the podcast for just a second because I'm geeking out on my coffee thing and you know how I am. Did you buy the separate container with the refrigerator for the milk or not yet?
Okay, no. This one, and I did research on this one. This one has its own little separate container, airtight container, and you fill it up with milk, seal it, and then you keep it in the fridge. And then when you need it, you pull it out and then you open it up. And then there's a metal straw that goes in there that seals in, siphons it, and brings it in. And when you're done, you pull it out and then you do it's called hygienist steam. And it cleans the tube perfectly and everything. And then you just take it and you put it in the fridge.
Take a picture of it and take a picture of the hose and send it to me.
I will.
Because if it works with my milk container thing, I'm going to buy you one for Christmas. Because the one that I have is an actual refrigerator. So you don't need to put it inside the refrigerator. You just leave it on the countertop and it keeps the milk refrigerated the whole time. So there's no having to go into the fridge, bring it out, put it there, fill it up. You literally lift the lid, pour the milk in, put the lid back on. It doesn't have to be airtight.
And it's its own little refrigerator.
It's its own little refrigerator. And then all you have to do is just pour the milk in there, put the lid on, and that's it. And it feeds the machine just like that container. So when I bought mine, it had that container. And then I just thought to myself, okay, every morning, if I'm going to be doing this right, I'm going to
yours cost $15,000,
and then you know how it is with kids. They never fill up the damn container, right? So you're coming to the fridge with the empty container. So anyway, send a picture of it to me because I have a good idea of, not for you, for Janie, for God's sakes. Anyways, John, let's do this. Let's take our final word from our sponsors. When we come back, I want to get your final thoughts into our 30 minutes.
All right, you got it.
The Hyper Pole from Ultimate Pool Tools is a pool care pole designed by pool professionals for pool professionals, featuring precision-crafted carbon fiber and stainless steel construction. Go to ultimatepooltools.com or Instagram at Ultimate Pool Tools. Pool pros have specific needs when it comes to general liability insurance. The SPPA program has you covered. With 3 tailored and customizable general liability options, SPPA makes it easy for pool pros to feel secure. Find out more and get covered at thesppa.com. Now available, Pool Invoice. Pool Invoice is a pool billing software created specifically for the pool service and repair industry. It's developed for our industry and only our industry. Pool Invoice is built with recurring billing in mind. You can print, email, text invoices, or even send via WhatsApp. You can add reoccurring or yearly charges, accept credits, and set up autopay. You can even see when customers have seen the invoice. It even has a customer portal where they can log in and see, print, and pay invoices. It has all your customers' information on one page, so you don't need to search through hundreds of invoices looking for the one you need. Just go to the customer profile and it's all at your fingertips. Created specifically for the pool industry, Pool Invoice. Now available at poolinvoice.com. Blueray XL is the power of minerals working for you. Reduce your overall chemical costs and labor up to 50% guaranteed. Whether you have 20 accounts or 20,000, Blueray XL's direct pricing and free shipping to the pool trade have you covered. Improving pool professionals' profit and work-life balance is what they do. Blueray XL, the real mineral purifier. Visit them at BlueRayXL.com.
Blueray all day.
Aquastar's new pipeline cartridge filters, available in 2 sizes, deliver top-notch hydraulic efficiency along with best-in-class filtration performance, approaching that of DE filters. Uniquely designed, open pleat spacing means 100% of the media square footage is usable. And these claims are backed by NSF test results. Designed with the pro's time and comfort in mind, the patented double-locking system improves safety and ease of access, making filter cleaners faster than ever before. Available now. Ask your supplier for pipeline filters today.
Natural Chemistry, a leader in specialty water care solutions for over 30 years, is proud to provide products that make pool service easier than ever before. Its unique enzyme formulations in Pro Series Pro Blend improve efficiency of your pool program while reducing frequency of filter cleaning and scum lines. Natural Chemistry is also well known for its wide variety of phosphate removal solutions that include a non-clouding formula in Phos-Free and extremely high-range removal with Pro Series Phos Remove or Phos-Free Max. Save time, save money, save work with Pro Series products. Stop sacrificing durability or efficiency with the help of Raypak's new Avia HD models that utilize NITEC, their exclusive industry-first technology. NITEC heat exchanger technology is Raypak's latest solution to superior strength and maximum efficiency when it comes to residential pool heating. With 900% more nickel compared to copper nickel in critical surfaces, NITEC creates an ideal surface to protect against scale formation and erosion without compromising on Avia's 84% thermal efficiency. Learn more at raypak.com/NITEC.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Pool Nation Live podcast. We continue our conversation with Mr. JJ Flawless. Zach is out in Orlando at Universal Studios, enjoying some time with the kids on Thanksgiving week. I don't know what he was doing thinking of going on Thanksgiving week. I'm sure it's crowded as all crazy. But anyways, so Mr. Flawless, let me get your final thoughts, even though all we did was talk about coffee and the Pool Nation Awards.
Final thoughts on coffee?
On your coffee machine. Why don't you give us a review of your coffee machine so far?
Can you tell I'm a little chipper? It's 8 o'clock at night over here, and I'm pumped up, ready to rock and roll. I'm literally, those 5 shots of espresso have got me rolling. I can't give an honest review yet of the machine because I haven't had a chance to go through all 22 different beverages that it can create. No, I'm just kidding. Or 15 beverages or whatever it is. But look, again, I know this is a short podcast, and I know we were debating whether or not we were going to do it because it's Thanksgiving. We didn't do our Instagram Live because we understand that people are with their families and we want them to spend every single moment. Most pool guys and gals out right now are taking the week off, and a well-deserved week off. Hopefully you guys are. And we're thinking about, we're like, no, we need to get on here. We need to talk. And then plus with me, I wasn't here last week and I'm starting to feel a little weird because I'm a creature of habit, right? And don't screw with my program, because if things don't go the way I expect them or I plan them to go, then all hell breaks loose inside my head. So when Friday comes along, I'm supposed to be doing our podcast, and that's what we need to do. And when I came home and the internet was down from the night before, I was like, it'll be fine when I get there. But no, our internet at our house was down for almost 30 hours.
Wow.
And no child got harmed in the making.
They all survived.
They survived because we started to really appreciate this day and age in the internet and how it's a crutch for a lot of us, especially our children.
Yeah.
God forbid the router goes down for a minute. Anytime the internet goes down, it's like a revolving door. Within 10 seconds, the littlest is already in the house, already in the bedroom, knocking on the door saying, hey, where's the internet? And then another kid's coming around and another kid, and everybody's running out telling us that the internet's down because they don't know how to do anything else other than be on their phones or computers or whatever it may be. And to me, I kind of giggle and laugh when it happens. But when it was down for that long and I came home, especially at night, for the first time in my life, we actually cut cable. We don't do cable. I used to pay $270 a month for cable, and we never watch cable. Never. All we watch is Hulu, Paramount, whatever, the Stars, Showtime, Amazon. What the hell's the other one that we have? Netflix. That's all we watch. Everything is done via internet. So when the internet went down at night, I can't go to sleep without the TV running or something on. I need to listen to something. So I was having a hard time that night, and I felt like my children, but I kept my cool and I didn't let them see it. But long story short, internet went down and all hell broke loose. And I didn't strangle any of the children because they weren't bouncing off the walls. They were very good and respectful. They sat and played. They played basketball outside. They played board games and did whatever they did. It was like it was the apocalypse or something.
They're like, Mommy, I didn't know you played basketball.
Yeah. It was like, I mean, literally, the kids were like the apocalypse, right? What do we do now? Life isn't worth living. Let me go play with the shoe or something, whatever. I don't know.
Their friends are showing up at the house to see if something happened to them because they haven't been online for 12 hours.
That's what it is, because now it's like kids don't even want to come over. They just FaceTime all the time, right? That's all they do. They're literally looking at each other as if they were there. You go into Bobby's room and he has like 15 screens and it's all surrounded with different people on there talking and playing games and doing whatever the hell he's doing. It's like, wow. Okay. So anyways, that's my final thoughts. No, these questions are great. They're going to take about an hour to answer for real.
And we've been jibber jabbering for 40 minutes already.
I guess the cappuccino works for me. Can you tell how pumped up I am?
You are.
I am.
Yeah. But here's the problem. So you have a good tolerance for caffeine as it is already. And then now you're going to have coffee at the press of a button.
Yeah.
So now it's going to be even worse because your body's just going to get used to all that extra caffeine that you get going there. So
I'm going to have to hook up like an IV and I'm going to be walking around.
With the coffee machine on the little tray.
The caffeine drift to espresso into my.
But now you're going to feel my pain. It was funny because my wife always makes fun of me. Like, why do you always go? And she calls them the disposable coffee espresso machines because they're like $50. But last time I went to Vegas, I bought 2 cappuccinos and it was $25. Look at all the money that we saved from all the coffee. You, Janie, Zach, Benny, me, it was completely crazy.
It makes sense.
Anyways, if anybody's interested, you can call me or John and we'll give you our takes on the coffee machine.
I think what we'll do is we'll start up a Espresso Nation. Maybe we'll create a website and we'll start doing coffee reviews, right? Forget, why not, right?
I like it, Espresso Nation, where we start going through all the different coffee machines. All these companies sending us all these coffee machines, John, that
would be awesome.
Anyways, hey, listen, everybody, I hope that you guys all had an amazing Thanksgiving with your families. We really appreciate it. And we want to thank you all from the Pool Nation family. Thanks for listening. We will catch everybody on Wednesday on the Instagram Live because John and I will be back. So have a great one and catch you on Wednesday.
Good night.
Have a good one. Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Pool Nation podcast, a member of the Pool Nation family. You can listen to us live every Friday here at 9 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Central, and 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. You can find us at Pool Nation or poolnationpodcast.com, on Facebook, or on Instagram at pool.nation. And to find more info about Pool Invoice, the billing software built specifically for the pool industry, go to poolinvoice.com. Before you go, this is what the pool industry has been waiting for. Poolmanuniversity.com. It's the first platform dedicated to learning the swimming pool service and repair industry. A pool service community where you can connect and find videos on business, service, water chemistry, and repairs. See you there at poolmanuniversity.com.